we're so blessed, honestly, to be in a time where I'm with you in your living room, getting to speak to you, and I just think that's amazing. Like, I think we're taking that for granted a little bit, how lucky we actually are during this whole thing. I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm Josiah Perron. I'm the youth pastor here at Gateway. I love just being with the students, and I think before we jump into this message, I have a few things that I need to address here. Some housekeeping issues, nothing too serious. First off, we need to talk about something, and that is the beard. I know you're looking at it. I know it's making you uncomfortable. I know a lot of you are thinking, hey, like, did he get let go? Is he still working at Gateway? Are they allowing this to happen? I understand your concerns. I hear your grunts through the TV. I just heard a bunch of you go, oh, what's going on there? And here's the truth. What happened was I made a poor decision by doing a challenge with my students. The day that they started announcing the lockdown, I was like, oh, we'll probably be out, 3 weeks, maybe a month. And so I said, hey guys, what if I don't shave until we're back together in the same room? Well, 3 months later, here we are. I'm still, and I don't like it any more than anybody else. So it'll be gone the minute we're back together. So yes, I'm very much looking forward to that day of being back with the students. Secondly, the second thing I want to address today, you're probably sitting at home, and I've heard a lot of people say this where they're like, well, it's got to be awkward talking to a big empty room, right? Like, it's got to be awkward playing worship in a big empty room. And I want to put your mind at ease today. It's very awkward. Yeah, it's very, very uncomfortable to be speaking to two people who have already heard my message today, by the way. So it's very uncomfortable, yes. And the reason why it's uncomfortable is because the people that I love and that I'm comfortable with aren't here. And that's the truth. I would rather speak to a room of 1,000 people than speak to a lens like this. But as Mario said, we're working on getting us all back together. But I just wanted to put that at ease. Yes, this is uncomfortable as well. So third thing is this. It's been about 3 months since I got to address my students. Since I've really got to share with them on a Wednesday night, or I do weekly videos with them, but it's just not the same. And I have kids crying out to me, Josiah, we miss it. We miss youth group. We miss this. We miss that. And I know that what you miss, it isn't fellowship. No, it isn't community. It's not discipleship. No, that's not what you miss. I know what you guys really miss. You miss video of the week. If you don't know what video of the week is, every single week we put up a short video. Sometimes we make it, sometimes we just find it online. Sometimes they're goofy, sometimes they're silly. We always play one before the service, and I thought, you know what, Tom's not here, I can do whatever I want. So I created a video of the week for the first time in big church, a Gateway Students video of the week. Let's roll the clip. I feel good. I feel like I'm ready to preach. I do want to just say, what are you thankful for? What are you thankful for today? I want you to put that in the comment section if you're there. Let's just get some dialogue going. What are you thankful for today? I'm thankful just to be with you, and I'm thankful to be in this place. I haven't got to speak here since the beginning of the year, January, which doesn't feel like very long ago, but we're already halfway done with 2020, which just blows my mind. And so I got to speak, and I was the first message of 2020. I was the first message of the new decade, and that was exciting. And I got to deliver a really good message. I don't know if it was good. I just mean it's a good message. Sorry, humble brag. I got to deliver a good-to-hear message of hope and that Jesus loves you, and there's nothing you can do about that. And 2020, our hopes were high. Honestly, we were at this spot of optimism saying, I think we're turning a corner. I think things are about to be great. I'm really excited for the year that's to come. And then 2020 happened, and it's been crazy, absolutely crazy. So crazy that I can't believe we're already 6 months into it. Like that just boggles me. And we're just to highlight some of the things that have been crazy is, first off, we had an incredible winter camp, and that was awesome. That was really, really an amazing experience. I believe there was a lot of growth And honestly, I believe that there's a lot of things that kids learned at that camp that they've taken into this season. And thank God that it got to take place, that things weren't shut down when Snow Blast was happening. But then things kind of took a turn, and coronavirus and COVID-19 started, and that was a big stressor. It is a big stressor. And then shortly after that, there was the murder hornets, or whatever they're called, killer bees, or something like that. I don't know. All I know is that I don't think we resolved that. I think that that's still out there, and we probably need to deal with it. I don't remember seeing a resolution to that one. Kind of freaks me out. But we had those. And then over the last 2 weeks, we've had some serious discussions taking place. People that are hurt, and a community that's needing to be heard. And so, Lord, during this time, I just pray. I've been praying this whole time that we would love one another. Now is the time to obey what Jesus commands us to do, to love our neighbor as you love yourself. And I look eagerly forward to the community of God doing that together. And this season, particularly with COVID-19, has been a season of waiting on God. And for many of us, it feels like we're actually like in a waiting room that God has put us in, and we're just waiting for Him to do something. We're waiting for God to like open a door, or to heal our business, or to heal a family member. We're waiting for God to answer a prayer. And the hard part about that is it's actually like very much against our nature to be patient or to wait. We see this best exemplified if you look at little kids. Like, they are just not patient. I made a huge mistake last week. I was given a pool. It was one of those above-ground pools. And I have two 2-year-olds. And if you've had two 2-year-olds, one of them's 4. I don't even know why I said that. A 2 and a 4-year-old. And if you've had that age range, you know that when they have something that they're looking forward to, they will not let you forget it until you've completed that task. And so we get this pool set up, we put in water, and there's maybe 3/4 of an inch of water, and Alexis looks at me and she's like, "Can we go in? Is it time? Is it ready? Can we go? Can we jump in? I'm just going to do a dive into the pool." I'm like, "Alexis, it's not ready yet. Like, just be patient." And so we're filling it up that day. Throughout the day, it's taking forever to fill up. And like every half hour, just go, "Dad, can we go in the pool?" "No, we cannot go in the pool. It is not full yet, okay?" "No." Then my water heater breaks at my house, so I have to turn off the water for a few days, and I'm trying to get things fixed there. Our car broke down. I'm getting things fixed there. So the pool gets pushed to the side, and Alexis is like this ticking time bomb. She just won't stop asking me, "Dad, when can we go in? Dad, when can we go in?" I'm saying, "Sweetie, calm down." I go over, I grab like a marker, and I draw it on the pool, and I'm like, "Until the water reaches that spot, do not ask me again," okay? Like, we are not getting in the pool until the water gets right there. It didn't work, not even in the slightest. She asked me 100,000 more times. I promised her, I said, "When the day comes, far off, when the day comes and the pool is full, I will jump into the pool with you. I promise." Well, the pool finally did fill up. And unfortunately, it was 56 degrees outside, and there was no stopping her. We put her in. I got basically hypothermia, but I did it, and I'm proud to say that I kept my word to my daughter. We don't like being patient. That's just the truth. It is natural for us not to. It's something that we have to learn. It's a trait that we're not just born with. It's actually something you have to practice and get better at. I have a question for you this morning. Have you learned to wait on God? And I ask this question to myself as well. I'm not just putting this out for you. Have you learned how to properly wait on God? I mean, it's one thing to be waiting on God when we're looking forward to something. Like if God has said, "I'm going to do this with your life," and you're sitting there and you're eagerly anticipating it. That's one thing, and that's actually kind of like a fun experience to wait for those. But sometimes when it's a season like this where we're just trying to get back to normal, it's hard. It's really hard to wait. If you don't believe me, look at somebody who is going on a road trip. Next time you have a friend who goes on a road trip, do this little test with them. When you get to the destination that you want to go to, let's say you're camping, and you get to that destination, ask them how the trip was. Ask them how it went. And they'll usually say something along the lines of, we were driving, we got to Seattle, we got to Tacoma. Man, traffic was about, we got held up about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But it was good. We had fun, and we're excited to get here. That's usually the conversation when you ask somebody how it was to get somewhere. But then when you ask them the same question for how was your trip back home, it's a very different response. Honestly, it sounds like you just asked them to give up like a kidney or something. You're like, how was your trip home? Like, it was awful! They're just so mad about the trip home. They're, oh man, I had to sit in this traffic. I had to sit in bumper to bumper freeway traffic just to get home and I just wanted to be home, and my kids were tired and they wouldn't stop talking, and they wanted animal crackers, and I was just done with it. I'm so frustrated. There's two very different reactions to the exact same thing. Because the truth is, when God is saying, this is where we're going, it's an exciting place, this is what I have for you, a lot of times we jump on that yes, let's go, let's be part of this, that's awesome. But a lot of times in a season like this, we find ourselves saying, I just want to be back to a place of comfort. I just want to be back in a spot where I don't feel like I'm out of my own skin. I just want to feel like I'm comfortable, and I have my church, and I have my community, and my favorite restaurants are open. I want to know when things are going to be back. And what happens is we grow impatient, and that's what we see. David, the psalmist, he writes about this actually quite a bit. And there's a psalm we're going to jump in today, Psalm 62. It goes like this. Truly my soul silently waits for God. From him comes my salvation. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He is my defense, and I shall not be greatly moved. In God is my salvation and my glory. The rock of my strength and my refuge is in God. Trust in him at all times, you people. Pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. Now, if you look at this, there's only one time he says us. Otherwise, he's literally saying, this is what God is to me. And that really stands out to me because a lot of times if you look at David's other writings, it's a lot more, you are our salvation, you are our refuge, you are our hope, and he's speaking on behalf of the nation that he's leading. But in this one, it's a very personal prayer. He's saying, you are this to me, God. This is what you've done for me. You are my rock. Not his rock, not her salvation, not their defense or his strength, not her glory or their refuge. You are that to me. Do you hear the difference between those? It's personal. It's a relationship. It's not just a statement. Because the truth is, we're going to flip it, if he is your rock, then what storm could overtake you? Right? If he is your salvation, what circumstances could possibly draw you away? Not our salvation, your salvation. If he is your refuge, what enemies could pursue you? If he is your defense, then what enemy could defeat you? If he is your glory, then what words could bruise you? Now, Psalms deals with waiting a lot, and I think today we're going to learn a little bit of how do we wait on the Lord. But let's look at the other Psalms that deal with waiting. This is Psalm 46:10. It says, "Be still and know that I am God." Psalm 27:14, "Wait on the Lord, be of good courage, and he shall strengthen your heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord." Psalm 37:34 says, "Wait on the Lord and keep his way, and he shall exalt you to inherit the land." Psalm 62:5 says, "My soul, wait silently for God." In Psalm 135, "I wait for the Lord, my soul waits, and in his word I do find hope." And the truth is, David doesn't always speak like this. I mean, he has prayers of laments where he's basically saying, "God, where are you? Like, I'm growing impatient in this season. I'm looking for you and I don't see you." And so don't think that this is David saying, "Shame on you for feeling restless." But the question is still there. If these are the promises that God has given us, if those are, the things that he says, "Wait and I will come to you, I will strengthen you, I will be your refuge." If that's what God is saying, then why is it that we as Christians sometimes lose that confidence that David bears in verse 63, Psalm 63? Why do we lose that? Why don't we always just filled up with confidence? Why don't we always just know where we're going to be and no matter what happens around us? I mean, regardless, some of the most strong and steady Christians I know are still being affected by this virus. Why? Because we have all these promises. Shouldn't we just look to them and receive comfort? There's two words of why, typically, these promises grow watered down sometimes. And the truth is, life changes. Life just changes. We live in a world that is constantly changing around us. 3 months ago, we wouldn't have thought twice about going to a barbecue with friends. Now, it's not even really an option. 3 months ago, your business may have been booming and healthy and in a healthy spot, and now it's suffering because of this. 3 months ago, we didn't live in fear of being sick or stung by killer hornets. We just didn't. Life changes. And then these small changes take place within our hearts every time something changes within our life. I one time went surfing with my sister Tiffany. If you're watching, Tiff, I love you. That's a quick shout out. But I went surfing with my sister Tiffany, and I remember we pulled up to the beach, and she gave me this surfboard, and this thing was huge. It was way too big for me, honestly. I couldn't even get my arm all the way around it. And so I'm carrying it out, I'm waddling it out to the ocean. I'm this little, portulent little boy, like just chubby and in this little wetsuit that's too big for me. And I'm trying to get this thing out into the water. And we get it out there, and I'm surfing around and trying to, I'm terrible at it. I can't even stand up. And finally, my sister is like, "Okay, it's time to go back to the car." And so I was like, "Okay, it's not that far of a walk." And I look up at the ocean or at the beach, and there's no parking lot. Like, it's just gone. I look around, I'm like, "Where's the car?" Like, the car is gone. Like, it was there, it's not there. And Tiffany goes, "Oh, there's a current, and we've drifted like, a mile or two down shore. We're going to have to carry this thing all the way back." And I just remember in that moment just thinking, like, I have to carry this board back all the way to the car. Like, that's going to be exhausting. Life changes, and sometimes we get so focused on where we're at, what we're doing, what we're a part of, that when we look up and we say, "Where's God?" we didn't even realize how far we've actually drifted from Him. We didn't even realize that our changes in life have caused us to fall away from the Lord. The truth is this: God hasn't changed in this season. His promises are the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And the fact is, He may be waiting for us to find our way back to Him and let Him be the thing that He promises He will be. When life changes, we clutch onto the things that we can control. It's natural. It's like when we get a life buoy thrown to us in the water, you're not just going to push it away and be like, "No, I got this on my own." No, you cling on to that thing because it's the only thing that resembles comfort and life and rescue. And we do this too, because we've heard sayings like this: "My family is my rock." That's something that we clutch onto. We say, "Yes, God's my rock." We say that on Sunday, but really, my family is my rock. My children are my hope for the future. My spouse is my place of refuge. Sorry, my house is my place of refuge. My spouse will be my defender. My reputation in my community is my glory. And we clutch onto these things and we say, this is mine, this is what I can control. And slowly as things shift, we find ourselves drifting away from the Lord. Matthew 16:24-26 says this. This is not on the screen. It says this: Jesus told his disciples, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." You know what that doesn't say? It doesn't say let him deny 30% of his life and follow me with 70%, right? It doesn't say let him give up the hard parts of his life and follow me. No, it says let him deny everything that has caused him to drift away from the Lord. Well, that has caused this person to drift away from the will of God so that God can fulfill his promises. God will fulfill his promises when we draw near to him. And these are the promises we see. 1, God will never leave you. Deuteronomy 31:6. God will always protect you. 2 Thessalonians 3:3. Isaiah 40:31 says God will give you strength for every battle. 2 Corinthians 12:9 says God will give you the grace needed to endure all suffering. 1 John 19, God will forgive you when you have sinned against him. Ephesians 3:17-19, God will never stop loving you. God makes a lot of promises. Promises that take us from a place of wanting the journey to be just done. These promises return us to a state of being excited for the future that God has for us. And so, the truth is, when the world changes, when I say that, a lot of times we obey the promises of the world. We think if we can just, obey the promises, the things that it says, you can be happy here. Money brings happiness. Your family should be, your ride or die. Like all these things, we rely on the world. But the world doesn't always fulfill its promises. In fact, more often than not, it doesn't. But we serve a God, like I said, who is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And the minute that we let go of those things that we're clutching onto, those comforts, those things that we think are our life rafts, the minute that we let those things go and we let God fulfill his promises, let me tell you, amazing things are going to happen. And God will never leave you. He will always protect you. He will give you strength in every battle. He will give you grace when needed to endure all suffering. He will forgive you when you have sinned against him, and he will never stop loving you. 2020 is not meant to be a season of despair. We, as Christian believers, can still look to the future and say, Lord, I'm excited for what it is that you have for this nation. I want to extend an opportunity this morning. Some of us are in a spot where we feel like we have the lack of opportunity to do anything right now. We're frustrated and we feel like we're being kept away from the world because of this quarantine, or maybe we're just afraid of this quarantine. At the end of the day, whether we're in our homes, whether we're out on the streets, whether we're in this room, we need Jesus. And we need him to be our rock, our refuge, our strength, our defender, our shield, our peace. And so if that's you today, I want to make that decision. I want to say yes today. I want to be patient, and I want to lean on those promises that God has for me. If that's you, we want to connect with you. There's a way you can hit that button in the menu or contact one of us. If that's you, we want to offer that to you today. Let's pray together over that. And then we have a couple quick things to wrap up. Let's pray. Lord, we need you now more than ever to love one another the way that you desire us to love each other, to love ourselves the way that you love us. We need you every hour of this time. Lord, we give up all of ourselves, the things that we're clutching to. We're not going to keep anything from our past. Lord, we're going to give up ourselves and follow you. If there's a person out there who's praying that with me for the first time right now, I hope you know that there's a crowded room in heaven that's celebrating, where there's no social distancing, where there's peace that we don't understand, and where there's hope that God gives to us here on earth. If you pray that prayer with me today, say, yes, Jesus, I accept you into my heart. I want you for the rest of my life, and I want to say that I need you. Lord, yes, I need you. We celebrate with you, and we want to say, welcome to the family. Welcome to the greatest kingdom you could be a part of. We love you, Lord. Thank you for these words. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for letting me be in your living room. I have to point out that next week we're jumping into a new series in the book of Exodus called Homeschool. We want you there. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be, I think Mario's kicking us off, and so that'll be great as usual. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for letting me be in your home. Love one another. God bless.